guys, it's Amy from Nail Polish Baby 90 and welcome to today's video. Today I'm here with the mum tag. So recently when I was doing my life update video, if you're not normally from my channel, I normally do a channel based on nail polish and beauty, but today I'm going to be doing the mum tag. So when I was doing my life update and talking about having my daughter, I thought I would do this kind of tag because a lot of you out there, my regular viewers, are mums and we can all help each other out with a few life hacks. So I found this on YouTube. It's called the mum tag. There's 15 questions. Let's go. The first one is your favourite mum hack, and mine is an item. This is the item. I don't know what the real name of it is. I should have looked it up. But this is from Ikea, and it basically on the website and everything is advertised to go with their regular plain white high chair, which they do have in a lot of soft plays and restaurants. It's like just a white plastic high chair. So this is meant to go with it to pad that out and make it a little bit more comfy. However, I don't have that high chair. This is just really good for going out and about, especially when you've got like a just early weaned baby. Like my daughter is 6 months, so she's not super sturdy still. So having something like this that I can just slide into a high chair at a restaurant, because the high chairs at restaurants tend to just be those wooden ones. Slide that in, pad it out, and it makes it a lot more comfortable for her and me. Also, you can use this in supermarket trolleys. Sit this in the seat, gives them a little bit more padding, makes the area that they are sitting in a little bit more small and cushy, and just overall makes it a little bit more comfortable, because high chairs and like trolley cart seats are not the most comfortable. But I will link the name of the product down below for that, but that would be my mum hack number one. It's just an inflatable thing that you can blow up with a cover on the top that is machine washable. So mum hack. Number two is your most embarrassing mum moment. I don't think I've had that many. I mean, now I'm dealing with a toddler as well. Like, tantrums are always great. But in general, everyone, especially now once I've got two, there's wee and poo and sick, and it's everywhere all the time. And you should try not to be embarrassed. But I would say the early stages of toddler tantrums were probably the most embarrassing. I can't think of one specifically. But yeah. Toddler tantrums are the best. Number 3 and 4. So 3 is the best part of your day and the 4 is the least favourite part of your day. My favourite part of the day is the mornings. I love it when we first get up and if we don't have to go anywhere, so we can come downstairs, have a chill, have a play, have some like breakfast. Everyone's very calm and rested from the night before, and I just really like that time. And if we don't have to do anything for a few hours in the morning, I love that. I love like going somewhere like 10 or 11 once we've been awake for a while. And both my children don't get up super early. They get up about 7:30, always have. They've never been people that get up at 6 o'clock. I don't know how you guys cope with early risers. Definitely not for me. My least favourite part of the day is bedtime, because on the other end of the scale, you're dealing with children that are tired and just want to sleep. And Austin has never been a good sleeper. I should have said I have a 3.5-year-old called Austin and I have a 6-month-old called Andy, boy and girl. Yeah, he's never been great at sleeping ever. His whole life, he's never been great at sleeping. He only slept through the night in his own bed just before he turned 3. So yeah, that's another thing. So the struggle to get him to settle and go to sleep. During the winter, we are fine. But during these summer months where it is bright, no matter how dark I make the room, it's like he knows the sun's still up. And during the summer, he's up way later than he should be, up to like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So that's my least favourite time in the bed at night. And bedtime routine takes so long to me. By the time you like bed, bath, it just goes on forever. Number 5 is the worst something someone said to you when you were pregnant. Now this is when I was pregnant with my daughter the second time round. We went to a child's birthday party. Someone that I knew that for a long time came up to me because Austin wasn't really feeling the party. He was a lot younger than the children there. It was for a 6-year-old's party and he was like 2.5, 3. And she was like, how are you going to cope? You've made a mistake. Why are you doing this? What are you going to do? You look tired. I thought to myself, oh really? Just lay all the negativeness onto me. That's just what I wanted to hear. So just that was rough, because you're emotional when you're pregnant anyway, and just to hear something that I think every person, I could probably speak for, people that are having a second child, you are so worried about the first one that for someone to be like, oh, you've made a mistake, it's going to be bad for him, made me feel even worse, because you already are preemptively having the mum guilt. Yeah, that was not a good time. Number 6, baby names you didn't agree on. That was tradition for my husband's families for everyone to have an A name, and happily I fit into that equation. So we had obviously the alphabet all ruled out. With Austin, we settled on his name really early and really quick, and he was kind of that maybe from 7 months. We didn't say it out loud, but between us we like kind of was like, oh, Austin, Austin, Austin. So that was easy. With Andy, we found it a lot harder, and there's actually a lot more girls' names beginning with A out there to choose from. None of his family have girls, so we were like the first one to get a dib on it, and it was just so hard, and we just couldn't think of anything. And she was nameless for about, I don't know, about 16-20 hours after she was born. Well, we had a couple, but we weren't sure. So I don't know why. Sometimes having more choice makes something harder than having a small choice, if that makes sense. Number 7 is, do you co-sleep? Yes, I do co-sleep. You shouldn't feel shamed about co-sleeping. I felt a lot of like negativeness with Austin when I co-slept. With him, I'm going to do a separate labour and birth story, so you'll hear more about that then. But with him, I was in hospital for quite a few days after having him, and those trolleys are awful of getting in and out and in and like the cots. So I just felt that he slept on me from day one because I was so uncomfortable getting out of bed, putting him into the cot, then for him to wake. So naturally he just kind of slept with me, and then by the time I tried to probably put him in a cot, he just was a bit confused because he was, like, for the first like 3 or 4 weeks of his life, he slept with me. So we kind of did one of those next to me cots. So he did that off and on, and he was in with us. I would just say about co-sleeping, there's ways of doing it safely, and I think a lot, like, there was a stigma because we're all still trying to, I guess, work out about like sudden death syndrome and SIDS and cot death, and for a while people were blaming that for it. And believe me, there is probably a lot of people out there that sleep badly with their children, and they're saying about people getting into bed drunk with babies and stuff like that. Don't do that. Just, there's lots of information online from the Lullaby Trust and things that you can read that are ways to be safely co-sleeping or to have a next to me cot. So if you do it safely, it's really great, and they say a lot of studies have said it's really good for the children, each to their own. Yeah, so my daughter Andy, we chose to have her co-sleep with us for like maybe like the first 12 weeks of her life, and then we're transitioning her, and she's still off and on. Sometimes she's in the cot all night, other nights she wants to be in with us, so we're very flexible about that. Something you bought but never used. I don't know if I've got anything. I think, no, scratch mitts. People will always buy you scratch mitts when they're first born, and I never ever use scratch mitts with either one. They're like those little tiny like mittens. I never use them with any of mine, so that's a good one. 3 hospital bag must-haves. For me, nipple cream. If you want to breastfeed, nipple cream is an essential. Also, lots of snacks, because hospital food, I don't find hospital food to be that bad, because you're pregnant and hangry. You're going to want extra snacks to top you up and keep you going. So yeah, definitely lots of snacks. And I would say some sort of phone charger or charging equipment, because you're going to want to take loads of photos on your phone or your camera. Lots of charging equipment would be probably my 3rd one, which none of those were, other than nipple cream, none of them were really baby related. They were more me related. Number 10 is, are you a routine mum or a go with the flow mum, and what does bedtime look like? Like I say, bedtime is a slow process for me. Obviously every other day we have bath time, then we go up, we have quiet time, where we're not necessarily reading, because we sometimes felt that putting Austin in bed and doing like a strict read, he didn't really want to read. So now we do puzzles or just quiet play time, and then we get into bed. And there we go. That's bath time. But that process seems to take like 3 hours to do. I'm probably a go with the flow mum if I had to pick the one or the other. I know some mums that like their routine is very, very important to them, and they won't deviate from the routine, and that's absolutely fine. I should have said at the start of this video that everyone parents differently. Obviously, there's no need to attack anyone for anything. I was having this conversation with literally somebody a few hours ago. I don't know why people feel the need to breastfeed, bottle feed, have pain relief, don't have pain relief, have a routine, don't have a routine. It's your children, as long as you're doing what you think is best for them, and every child is different. So for me, I'm probably more of a go with the flow. I do have a routine of things, but I'm very flexible. So if I'm here at home, I have kind of a routine, and if I'm out and about, I have like a different routine in a way. So I kind of fit the children in around us the majority of the time, and if we need to do something, we'll kind of factor in what the children need to do. So if I needed to go to the shops, I might be like, well, I'll go now because she's going to be asleep. She wants a nap at this sort of time anyway, so I'll go now. And I wouldn't choose to go anywhere where, like, when I know that she's due feeding, because obviously I need to feed her. So I'm a bit of a mixture. Number 11 is, what type of labour did you have and what pain relief did you have? So I'm going to cover this more in my labour and birth video that will be up in a few weeks' time. But with labours, I had induced labours with both of them, and had von Tooth deliveries with both of them, and pain relief with Austin I had nothing, and then I had an epidural, and with Andy I kind of went up the scale, so I had a paracetamol, I had cocodamol and Oromorph, I had gas and air, and I had an epidural. That'll be in another story. But just be open to everything again. I said this to someone again, the person that I was talking to this morning. I said, as long as you're open to things. I hate it when people go in thinking that I'm going to do it this way, and then if they don't, they feel really let down on themselves. Go in, and however you get that baby out, no matter what drugs you have, you're all heroes. Don't go in being regimented if you get there and you can't do it without no pain relief, take some drugs. That's all I'm going to say. There's nothing against taking drugs. Do it. Number 12. Have you ever been mum shamed? I don't think I've been a mum shamed. I think the thing with having 2 children, I'm kind of speak from this point of view, is I think that when you have a toddler who's older, and then you have a baby, a lot of first time mums out there will look at you when you can't wrangle the both of them per se. I had an incident. We were in a soft play environment. There was a lot of mums sitting in the middle of the soft play, at the bottom of the slide and the ball pit, who had tiny babies who were similar age to Andy at the time, which was maybe 3 months, who were like immobile, I guess. So they wanted to lay them down on the mat, which is their right to do. But there were other parts of the soft play that were more for small children and sensory type activities. They chose to sit at the bottom of the slide and the ball pit. And anytime a toddler ran past them, they were getting annoyed. And I think that that's why whenever I see a new mum now, I remember how I was the first time around. And I think that people don't realise that all babies are going to be toddlers at one point. And at one point that's going to be you with your toddler running down the slide, trying to get on the slide up and down. So I think, yeah, just in general, don't try and judge or look at anybody in any way. But I just remembered that day thinking like to myself, you're going to have toddlers in a couple of years' time and be dealing with this, or you're going to have 2 children soon and then you're going to have to deal with it. But the look, I felt like they looked at me like I wasn't in control, and actually they were just in the way of my toddler. Rant over. The biggest challenges you face since becoming a mum. Mine is going to be having 2 children. Having one child, having Austin, we found was fine. He kind of slipped in. He fit into our lives really well. We adapted very well to having him around. Having 2, you then have the mum guilt of you're doing more with one than the other, or you should be doing this, and why aren't you doing this, and wanting to go out and have time for yourself. And I felt the mum guilt really kicked in more with 2, and I found definitely going from 1 to 2 a lot harder than going from 0 to 1. So I would say that's just the hardest, is just time management and balancing, and trying to realise that you're all doing the best that you can. Working mums, stay-at-home mums, single mums, everyone's doing their utmost best, and try not to have the mum guilt. Just try. 14 is the best bit of advice you've ever given, or advice you'd give to a new mum. Pretty much what I'd already said. Just be open to everything. It's best not to be at either extremes, I tend to find, in anything in my life. So when we talk about like breastfeeding, bottle feeding, you can obviously we have people who are like so adamant about bottle feeding and so adamant about breastfeeding. It's normally best to be in the middle. And so I've always combination fed both my children, so I breastfeed them and I bottle feed them. I breastfed them for 6 weeks solid, and then I started introducing a bottle. You can either express it or you can do formula, and it just allows some flexibility in your life where you don't have to be with the baby all the time and you don't have to feed the baby all the time. It allows your partners and your nans and grandpas to all feed the baby. So I think with everything in parenting, there's always a happy medium in between these 2 extremes of being an eco mum and wanting to do like everything eco-friendly and everything reusable, which is a great way to go, and to be everyone that wants to throw everything away. But there's lots of things in between that are really good, that you can do a bit of the eco-friendly stuff, and you can do a bit of the like I love a wet wipe. I know that's not good for the environment, and I am really trying to cut them down. I'm really trying to cut wet wipes down, but I use a lot of reusable, we use reusable swim nappies, which is a great thing. We use reusable swim nappies and stuff like that. So there's always a happy medium in between everything in your lives. Number 15 is, who is your mum crush? Last one. I have 2 mums that I follow on Instagram that I absolutely love. They're both British, but you can follow them anywhere in the world. I will link their handles down below. One is Giovanna Fletcher. She is the wife of Tom Fletcher, who was in McFly. Both of them are established authors, and they have 3 boys under 5, I think. And I've always loved her. and Tom in general, but I love like the mum and dad bits they post. And my more recent one is Rosie Ramsey, who is the wife of comedian Chris Ramsey. They have a podcast. She posts very real life on her Instagram with their 3-year-old Robin, and honestly, if you don't follow Rosie Ramsey, she's so hilarious and she makes me feel so good about myself in times when I think I'm just descending into chaos. So those are the mum questions. Let me know your mum hacks, your mum comments down below. Everyone be nice to each other in the comments. Everyone be nice to me. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.